Well, hello there, people of the internet, and hello again. I'm TheMBmulti. Welcome to part 42 of my Doki Doki Blue Skies Let's Play series. In the previous episodes, Sayori stayed over at our place after we just had just a normal day. Well, not out, but just a normal day, where eventually we ended up in my place. We just had a lot of fun, and it was dark already. And I just asked her if she wanted to stay over, and she did. However, during the night, she had an extremely bad nightmare, and it was one of her bad days where the depression got the better of her, unfortunately. So we decided to skip school, both of us together. I decided to stay with her, and she just... I wasn't really able to fix it, of course, but, you know, at least I was able to be there for her. Even though she didn't appreciate it as such, because she still felt guilty that I had to put up with her bullshit, as you know, that's how she saw it mostly. And so Sayori had a bad day in the previous episodes, unfortunately, but okay. Now it's 2 weeks later, apparently. It's been about 2 weeks since that nightmare caused Sayori to have a breakdown. By this point in our relationship, I've really started to see what Mom warned me about. I didn't realize how bad the bad days would be. We've had a few therapy sessions since. As I was hoping, the sessions went smoothly. Well, as smoothly as they could go, I guess. Along with her doctor prescribing her antidepressants, the therapist has given Sayori a diary, which she's meant to use by recording her happy and sad thoughts. By recording her sad thoughts, he's working with her to see whether those thoughts are supported by facts, basically trying to challenge her depressive thinking. I'm no expert, but it looks to me like that's the kind of therapy she needs. It's not been as simple as it might seem, but to me it looks like steady but sure progress is being made. To say the least, it's a huge relief. She's also tentatively mentioned that she'd like to start going to the sessions alone, although she isn't quite at that stage yet. Okay. She said she'd see how she feels by the next time one comes about. Still, it's been really interesting to see what therapy really entails. Definitely an eye-opening experience. On the other hand, I think the other club member girls, not club members girls, are starting to get a little more suspicious. There have been a few days where Sayori's depressive moods became a little more apparent in school, and they were concerned for her. Still, Sayori maintained her rules. I felt bad about how in the dark the other girls were, but it isn't my position to say what's going on. Hopefully Sayori will be comfortable telling them in her own time. Also, given it's now February, I had to pay a little more attention to school matters, namely the end of the semester next month. Sakurai has also been talking to students about their future plans. Yeah, with Yuri I already had everything planned out because I talked about it with Yuri. It's scary to think that next year is my final school year. He wants to see me after the lesson ends, so for what feels like the first time in forever, I started to think about what I want to do after I leave school. As the bell rings, he calls me over. You have the same look I had on my face when my homeroom teacher wanted me to talk about post-school plans. I appreciate his humor in the situation. He's always been efficient at helping me feel at ease, especially in situations where I feel out of my depth. If you don't know what you want to do, I wouldn't worry about it too much. After all, you're just a second year, so you have another year to figure it out. Yeah, apparently, this is high school, right? Because we're all like... Or what? Now, hang on. We are 18. Like, around 18. Because I was fairly sure that Yuri was like 20? Or at least... Or Yuri was the oldest out of all of them. That's what they said in the original game. So I kind of assumed that Yuri was like 20 and that Monika and Sayori were... Yeah. Like also 8, like they're all... Or like Yuri, Monika and Sayori are all 18 and then Natsuki is 1 year younger because she is in 1 year below us. So Natsuki is like 17 or whatever. I guess. Well, she looks 14 in my opinion, but apparently she's 1 year younger than the rest of them. So she is 17 then, I guess, if everybody else is 18. But yeah, that is, and so in that case, this can't be high school, because high school, at least, well, I don't know, maybe high school in Japan works differently, but high school in the Netherlands is already over by the time you're 18. At least I was 17 when I went to college. I was the youngest one there. I was the youngest one in the class. Which was pretty funny, because I remember walking with some students that I had met during the first few like weeks or months or whatever. We were walking through the city where my college is, and we were talking about I don't know, like we were talking about drinking laws, because in the Netherlands you have to be 18 in order to drink to consume alcohol, and however, it used to be 16, but they changed it from 16 to 18 in. There's already already a bunch of years back, because right now I'm 23. But they changed it a few years back, when I was still when I just started, like before I even started college. So technically I was able to drink alcohol for like a year, and then they changed it from 16 to 18, so then I wasn't allowed to drink it for like the next 2 years, and only for the next year, and then I was able to drink it legally again, because they changed it from 16 to 18. So I just fell in that gap where I was like allowed to drink it for like half a year, and then not anymore, and then again, yes, I was allowed to do it again, So we were talking about that with I was talking about that with some friends, some like students that I had met on the during my courses and stuff, while we were walking through the city, and they were like, "Oh, you're from this year, right?" So like, yeah. So, oh, you were screwed by that law that you weren't allowed to drink alcohol anymore. Like, I'm like, yes, technically yes, but I didn't drink any alcohol. But they didn't really pay attention to that. So, oh, that sucks, man. Like, oh, you were able to drink it for like half a year, and now not anymore. How do you feel about that? I was like, yeah, that sucks, yeah. And I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, I never drink alcohol. I've tried it, and I don't like it, and I've tried it again, and I still don't like it, and I just don't like drinking alcohol, so I don't drink it at all. So I'm just like you've got, and in my mind, it was like, you guys have the wrong person in front of you to ask these things, or to have this conversation with. But yeah, I was the youngest one in, along with a few others. I wasn't by, the youngest. Another person was, a few, months or days younger than me. But, yeah, I was 17. Everybody else was, 23, 24. And there was some older people that were nearing 30. And I was like, I'm 17? Hello, everyone? What the fuck? But, yeah. I really want to... It's really funny as well, because... back then, I was like, ugh, college fucking sucks. School sucks. I want to be, don't go there anymore. I want to, that typical teenage, I guess you're still a teenager at 17. Typical teenage behavior. Like, oh, fuck school. Fuck all this bullshit, But right now, I'm just like, oh, God, I can't wait until I finish... until the coronavirus and stuff finishes, so that I can apply for another education in college, so I can go to college again, because I really want to. It's really interesting as well, because and when you're so young, in my experience, I was like, oh, I don't care, or it's all bullshit, or I have so many better things to do. Mostly, was my opinion, but right now I'm just like, fuck, I can't wait to come back. I want to follow another education. I want to learn this. I want to learn that. So yeah, maybe I read somewhere it wasn't smart to force children to go to school. It was a study or whatever that they thought oh, maybe we should let children be children, and then once you're older, then you can have a more educated choice of what you want to do, and then you can freely go to colleges and stuff. And I think there's actually a lot of truth behind it, because am experiencing it, my wild quote-unquote teenage years where I was like, oh, fuck school, it's all so boring, I'll make sure that my grades are good, but like I'll forget everything after the test is over, all that entire attitude. And like now that I'm like early 20s, I'm just like, fuck, man. I want to learn this, I want to learn that, I want to go to college for this, I want to learn that. So yeah, it's like, it's a complete opposite. But like then back then you're forced to go and you don't want to, and right now I'm not forced to, but I want to, you know. It's like but whatever. Like, you know, I'm just like I want to learn languages primarily. Japanese as well, by the way. Nice subject, but like mostly languages, including Japanese, German, and Latin. And I never had Latin or Japanese on school, of course, but I had German in school, but I dropped it as soon as I could because I thought, oh, it's bullshit, never need German and all that stuff. And now I'm just like, fuck, man, I wish I kept it, because then I would have had a bit of a head start, or maybe I would have realized I liked it sooner, or, you know, something like that. But like, yeah, I'm just like looking at my teenage self making that very conscious decision to drop German, and right now I'm really wanting to learn it again. I mean, I still can speak it rather well. I can I can participate in a conversation, but I can't carry a conversation, and I don't speak it fluently, but I want to speak it fluently. Same with Latin, and same with Japanese. I want to speak all of them fluently. Why? I don't know. It's just a burning passion inside me that wants to do that, and I feel like I should listen to that because it makes me feel good when I achieve those goals, you know. But yeah, I'm just looking at myself from like when I was in high school. I'm making, oh, fuck all this bullshit. And it's like, God, I want to go back. I want to go back and fix that right now. But whatever. And, you know, when you're busy when you're in those years, you're like, oh, that never happens to me. I know exactly what I want, you know. And then a few years later, you're like, yeah, I didn't know what I wanted. But yeah, the whole reason why I came to that entire story was apparently it takes 3 years of high school. I'm assuming it's high school, even though we're all 18. I'm assuming it's high school. But I got to the subject because I was 17 when I entered college for like a few days. And then I for like a few months or whatever. And then I turned 18. But yeah, so yeah, even though we're all 18, we should technically be in college. I'm guessing this is high school, but high school apparently only lasts 3 years, which is interesting because in the Netherlands it lasts a minimum of 4 years and a maximum of 6 years, depending on which grade you have. It's a bit difficult to explain. I tried to explain it in the previous video, I believe. Having said that, do you have any idea at all? To be honest with you, sir, I haven't really given it much thought at all. The past 5 months have been they haven't really given me much time to think about it. Well, let's try this from another angle. Does higher education interest you at all? Going to university? Or would you perhaps be more inclined towards finding a job as soon as you leave school? No. No, definitely further education. I paused for a moment to think, trying to recollect what my parents used to tell me when we had this kind of conversation. University sounds good, although I'm not sure what I'd study. Well, I've got 3 language options laid out. You could pick from either one of the 3. History is always a good one. Any historical subjects. Possibly something in like a creative point of view, maybe something with video editing or animation. There. Just tells you my future plans for the future. You'll definitely find it easier to land a job if you have a degree under your belt. That's good to know then. All I have to do is pick a subject, I guess. And that can be a little daunting, especially when you aren't sure. My advice to you is aim for the heads. We need to go with the subject you enjoy and do well in. Far from me to be biased, but you are rather talented historian. I chuckle. What can you do with a history degree though? The skills you get from a history degree can transfer to a lot of other fields. A lot of historians that I knew went into journalism, academia, teaching, or even the law. It's the law! Oh shit, I skipped. Sorry, Sakurai. Obviously I'm not biased in any way, but history is the best subject to study, and you are 100% correct, Sakurai. Now science teachers say otherwise, sir. He grumbles to himself. Those haughty scientists, if they could just pry themselves away from their Bunsen burners and glass valves for 5 minutes. Anyway, it's good that you've at least got a vague idea of what you want to do. There's no rush or anything. Just take some time to think about what you'd like to study at university. We can always have another discussion later. Will do, sir, thank you. With the conversation over, I made my way to the club room for lunch. Hi, Sayori. Natsuki. Hey guys. Natsuki gives me a court nod, while Sayori gives me a wan smile. Oh, hi Yuri. The door opens once more and Yuri walks in. Sayori's already weak smile wavers even further. Oh god, no. She doesn't dislike her by any means, but it's clear that the jealousy is still an issue. I sigh inwardly. I have no clue on how to solve that issue, given I don't think Sayori is willing to disclose her depression with Yuri. As I pull out my food, I notice that Monika has barely greeted me. Her face is glued to her laptop, with a terse look on her face. Everything alright, Monika? She finally drags her eyes off the screen and looks at me. It seems she's only just realized that I'm talking to her. Yeah, sorry, had to sort out some important emails. How are you? It's easy to spot from a mile off that her smile was forced. I decide not to push it. Not bad, not bad. Sakura was just talking to me about what my plans are after high school. I think it's common practice for all the teachers to ask their students if we're given for second years at the end of the semester isn't so far off. Ha, bet that was fun. We don't have to bother with that stuff just yet. Luckily, I still don't really know what I want to do. I told them I wanted to go to university, but I can't really decide what I want to do. Starting to realize that I probably should have given this much thought. More thought. That's a little irresponsible, Mark. Your future holds so much weight, and time flies by so quickly. Well, I understand why you would say that, Monika, because I'm pretty sure you're in a bit of a different situation than all of us, but we will never know because there's no Monika around in Blue Skies. My face heats up a little from embarrassment. She's right, of course, but it seems like her judgment is coming out of nowhere, exactly. I look at Sayori, half expecting her to jump to my defense. She doesn't, though. Instead, she idly pokes at the spot on the table. The other girls look curiously at us. They can sense that something is up. Oh god, is Sayori gonna tell them or not? I don't want to draw too much attention to Sayori, so I try to deflect their curiosity. How about you, Yuri? Any ideas? Oh yeah, that's the best way to save it, given what Sayori thinks about Yuri all the time. Or what Sayori's depression thinks of Yuri. I decided that I want to study Japanese literature at university. Fitting choice. Yuri smiles to herself. I suppose it comes as a surprise to no one. I can imagine it would be both an exciting yet daunting experience. University? Yes, on the one hand there's the opportunity to meet many like-minded people, all with the same passion. Yet there's so much independence, especially if you opt for a university far from home. And with that independence comes a lot of responsibility, and I'd imagine a fair degree of uncertainty. Who knows what life will be like when all of us when we've left school? My question hangs in the air, and as the conversation lapses into silence, Monika mutters something under her breath. How about you, Monika? I imagine you've got a lot of choice given how you excel in pretty much every subject. She finally closes the laptop lid with a sigh. My parents have been hounding me with the exact same question for months now. I'll probably take over their business. Oh shit, fuck. Oh no, I just skipped to the end. I didn't skip the thing. There's a hint of what sounds like bitterness in her voice. Granted, I know very little about her life, well, at least anything beyond surface level, so it's a little baffling. We'll have to wait and see. An awkward silence descends upon the room. Clearly it isn't just me who has detected Monika's slightly hostile tone. Yeah, it's just her parents are forcing her to do that, and her parents are entirely like fucking hound. As she said, they're hounding on her. She makes it like sound a little bit joyful and playful and stuff, but like it is super forced. And they're forcing her to have good grades, and they're forcing her to take over their business or whatever. Well, in reality, she just wants, I don't know, wants to study something, or maybe also literature, just like Yuri, because she likes it so much, or you know, she wants to follow her passions, but her parents are like hounding, like pounding down on her from above, like you can't do that, you have to do this. Which again makes me interested to further the Monika route, but there isn't one. Fuck. An awkward silence descends upon the... Oh yeah, I just read that. Luckily, Yuri... Ooh, good job, Yuri. Yuri breaks the silence. Are you alright, Sayori? You've been rather quiet. Yeah, that's not like you at all. Even Monika glances over at Sayori's direction. Oh, I'm fine. Just kinda tired, that's all. Don't worry about me. The other girls don't look convinced in the slightest, but they don't have much chance to press her as the lunch bell rings. I remember being in their position last semester, and boy do I not envy them. As the end of the school day rolls around, I find myself wandering down the corridor waiting for Sayori to finish. Along the way I bump into Monika. Hi Mark, hi Monika. She keeps her voice low and quickly looks around before speaking. I can tell what she's going to ask me, yeah? Is Sayori okay? She'll be fine, just dealing with some stuff, that's all. Compared to the last time she was acting off in school, you seem a lot less worried. That's when I knew less about her. She narrows her eyes at me. I guess what I said must have come across as pretty cryptic. Okay. Well, at least let me know if I can help in any way, okay? Oh, if we can help in any way, yeah. We? The other club members. We're all friends after all, don't forget. Oh, of course. What a stupid... Yeah, that was a bit of a stupid question. Although, in my mind, I just read... I read I. Let me know if I can help with in any way. But yeah, exactly, we. It's appreciated. I'll see what Sayori thinks. Okay then, we'll see you later. Well, I think Sayori is definitely more convincing than I am. Well, sure, yeah, that's 100% true. She walks off, and after a couple of moments, Sayori comes out of her class. Sorry I'm late. It's okay, let's go. Do you know what was up with Monika? How do you know that? Oh, like as in what happened in the club. Oh yeah, okay. Funny you mention her because she just asked me what was up with you. Oh? What did you tell her? Just that you're dealing with some stuff. Didn't give any specifics. They're worried about you though. Have you considered telling them? No, not really. They're our friends, Sayori. They know something's up. I know. I can sense that this isn't a topic Sayori wants to discuss any further. Anyway. No, I don't know why Monika seems so snappy at lunch. She mentioned her parents, so they're probably being a bit overbearing. Must be difficult to maintain that model student image. When you're at the top, the only place you can go from there is down. Juggling academics with sports and other extracurriculars must be really stressful. I don't know how she does it, to be honest. I felt a little sorry for Natsuki though. The conversation kind of excluded her. I know for sure. I didn't even think about that. My mind is constantly, like in this case, Sayori is on top because this is the Sayori route. Otherwise, Yuri and Monika, and then like apparently, like my mind skips over Natsuki. Like no pun intended. But like when I was with Yuri, my entire mind was Yuri, Sayori, very much Sayori. I rewatched some previous episodes, and it's pretty intense how many times I mentioned Sayori in those videos. But yeah, even though it seemed like Sayori was priority on my mind, my priority was mostly Yuri. But the reason why I didn't really mention that is because mostly the story went along with it. I didn't have to pry or whatever. It's just I just had to kind of like be there for Yuri to kind of help her with. I really couldn't do much, as in with helping her with the self-harm, and she didn't want to be helped, as in with a therapist and stuff either. So, like, what can I do then? All I can do is just be there and like be as kind as possible to her, not just because she's self-harming, but because I like her, as in in that route she was my girlfriend. So as in like that all went along like automatically, so I didn't really have to pay like too much attention to Yuri, and therefore I had the entire time Sayori on my mind. I was just wondering what Sayori was up to and why my character didn't check up on her and all that stuff, So even though it may have looked like in those episodes that Sayori was secretly on my mind, on the top of my mind, it was just Yuri was coming along swimmingly, pretty much, except for that episode, that argument episode, but I made it very vocal about during that episode that Yuri was on the top of my mind. Because when things didn't go swimmingly, Yuri rose to the top, you know? So Yuri was also part, and then I was focusing on Sayori because Sayori, I didn't know anything about what was going on. She just didn't appear on school for a couple times, you know? And so that got me worried. And then, you know, also I'm constantly thinking, oh, Monika, oh, that's pretty tough what she's dealing with. That can't be good either. And then just my mind skips over Natsuki. I just don't find that. I'm very sorry for everyone that finds Natsuki their favorite character and the best character. Whatnot. I just don't. I'm so sorry, but I just don't. Yuri, Sayori, Monika, a huge amount of nothing, and then Natsuki. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. Maybe it's because she looks like a 14-year-old. I'm pretty sure it's because she looks like a 14-year-old. Partly attitudes, also partly. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll talk. I guess I'll be more focusing on that once I go for the Natsuki route. Because even though I don't like her as much as anyone else, I do feel bad if I were to leave her out. You know, just do Yuri's routes, Sayori routes, and then just quit. Like, no. I may not like you that much, but I don't dislike you that much either, you know? Like, come on. I know for sure that that when I was her first year, post-school plans hadn't even crossed my mind. Yeah, I thought that too. But we'll make sure to include her next time. Good shout. After dumping our things inside, I pull out my phone. I really should have talked to Mom a while ago, and I'm pretty sure she's gonna make me feel bad about it. Oh, she's home, isn't she? Oh, no, she's not. Hey, Mom. I work. That's you to remember. That's you to remember you have. Oh, yeah, rub salt in the wounds, game. Rub salt in the wounds. I winced slightly. I knew this was coming. I know. I really should have called you earlier. It's not that I didn't want to or anything. Anyway, Sayori is with me right now. Do you want to say hello? I'd love to. I press a button on my phone, which transformed the call into a video call. Ah, nice. Hi, Sayori. My goodness, is that really you, Sayori? The last time I saw you, you were barely a teenager. Sayori laughed shyly. I guess I am putting you on the spot here a little. Hi, it's really nice to see you again. And you, dear. I hope Mark has been treating you well. I shoot Sayori a desperate look. This could be a perfect opportunity to enact some revenge for all the times I teased her. Of course, he's been really good to me. That's lovely to hear. Looks like my little prince has truly matured. They share a laugh as I turn slightly red from embarrassment. Mom, really, little prince? I'm sorry, darling. I'm just so proud of you. Well, at least we've established what Sayori is going to be calling me for the next few days. They continue to giggle at my expense. He's always been like this, hasn't he? Quick to tease others, but once they do it to him, he gets so huffy. Sayori, do not take her side. You're my girlfriend. She's trying and failing to keep a straight face. Okay. No more teasing. Sorry, I just had to get you back for not calling me for so long. How did your December exams go? Oh yeah, no Happy New Year, no Merry Christmas or something. Well, perhaps Merry Christmas, I can't remember. You know, I briefly described my results along with Sakurai's comments. Well, that's reassuring to hear. I was worrying how you'd fare living by yourself, so I'm glad to hear that your academics are going well. Sakurai has a point though, your grades in math could be better, young man. Sayori, you're going to have to knock him into shape. He's always been bad with discipline. I snort in derision. And you're asking Sayori of all people to help me with that. Hey! Mom sighs dramatically. Sorry, Sayori, he can be really mean sometimes, can't he? Must have got that from his father. There's an awkward silence. Things have been rocky between Mom and Dad since the divorce. Oh, by the way, I've got some good news. We're almost finished dealing with this particular client, and I have no one else to deal with for a week. I'm hoping to come and see you soon. My heart races. As much as I've loved being able to basically live with Sayori, seeing Mom again after so long would be... No, that's an understatement. That's a fucking understatement of the fucking century. That's awesome, Mom. We're really looking forward to it. Oh, I've been meaning to ask you. She's got through by the sound of someone calling her. It sounds pretty urgent. Oh no, I was hoping I'd have more time to talk to you. Sorry, darling, I'm gonna have to go. We'll catch up properly. All three of us when I come to visit you. Don't forget, it's Valentine's Day coming up really soon, and I want to hear all about how you've been treating Sayori like a princess for it. She laughs softly and waves goodbye. Sayori's a bit flustered as well. Triple dots. Click. I forgot how nice your mom is. Yeah, she's always been such a good parent. She was a lifesaver back in November after our fight. You're such a mommy's boy. Hey, that's a good thing. It's really cute. I get the feeling you're mocking me, but because I know I can't win this battle, I'll reluctantly concede. The ice queen wins again! You're a real clown, you know that? True, but I'm your clown. That's... that is... You're so cute, Sayori. I preferred the one from that horror movie we watched with Yuri. Oh, such a charmer. The rest of the day passes by relatively quickly. After finishing our homework, we spent the evening kicking back with some video games. Nice. Good choice. This has been our routine for a while now. Sayori coming over, we finish our homework and then relax. Perfect? Perfect life. It's simple but effective. I'm glad we're both happy just to sit back and relax in each other's company. Then again, Sayori has never been high maintenance kind of girl. Oh, Yuri was. Yuri wasn't either. I mean, yeah, she like specifically wanted to read or play a game or, you know, all that, like, you know, like she made a deliberate choice to do that. But that's exactly the same, only like, you know, they in this case it's just, oh, what do you want to do? Oh, I don't know, we'll do this. Yeah, sure, you know, that's how this happens. But with Yuri it was, all right, what would you like to do? I think I would like to continue reading the book that we started 2 days ago. Sure. And then we would read, you know, like same end result, but a different road to get there. So Yuri wasn't much high maintenance in that regard either. Watching her now with her sky blue eyes narrowed in concentration. God, I love her. Is now the right time to say it though? What if she doesn't feel the same way? That'd be a little awkward to say the least. Nah, now is the time. I was curious, Sayori. What do you want? Oh, I thought this was about whether you love me, whether Sayori loves me or not. So I was going along with it, like, hey, didn't they have this discussion before? Didn't they both say we love each other, you know? But then, what do you want to do after you finish school? Something completely different. I don't really know. She sighs. I thought that going into therapy might have been a good idea, but... No, forget it. It's a stupid idea. It's not stupid at all. It is. I don't know if I'd even be any good at it. I can't even help myself, so how can I help others? You get at keeping the spirits high in the club at least. People appreciate having you around, and it's definitely more comfortable in atmosphere when you're there. It's one thing to keep peace in a high school club, but helping people with really big problems as a therapist. Oh, did I read that wrong? Oh yeah, going into therapy, as in becoming a therapist. Yeah, I thought this was like when she was like, you know, following therapy, you know, with a therapist. That was a good idea, but no, forget it. I thought that this meant like while she was having a therapy session, she thought of something, but then she was like, no. But no, she literally means becoming a therapist herself. She definitely could. There are a whole bunch of people that are like, I don't know what the English word for that is, but like people that have experienced it yourself and then they help others to overcome the same thing, you know, because they have dealt with it themselves, so they know exactly how the other person feels because, you know, they've been in that situation before, so they can definitely help. You know, the really horrible things that people have to live with. It's a whole other story. If you mention it to your teacher, at least, they might be able to point you in the right direction. She shrugs nonchalantly. I haven't, no. Truthfully, I haven't thought about it. I haven't thought about the future much. Well, at least we're alike in that sense, although our reasoning for it is rather different. You got plenty of time though, right? Yeah, I guess we do. The conversation trails off into silence. I suppose thinking about the future is quite difficult for Sayori, so I make a mental note not to push it. Anyway, it's getting late. Let's call it a night. Can I be the big spoon tonight? Not sure how that worked, but sure. You're just ridiculously fucking cute, Sayori. I'm sorry, but you just are. Even though you might not see it yourself, it is definitely true. Alright, 35 minutes. Okay, I'll call it quits here. So, hope you always enjoyed the video. Click the like button if you did. Subscribe to join the Roman army, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later, Romans. Valete.